So you've signed up for your first BIMUN conference. Congratulations! There's a ton of fun in store for you. BIMUN ESADE is sure to be a wonderful experience. But first, there are a few things you need to know. In this episode of BIMUN ESADE How To, we'll be teaching you how to prepare for BIMUN ESADE 2022. We'll tell you everything you need to know, from what documents to bring to everything you need to know about the conference itself. You'll be a BIMUN Pro in no time. Once you've been assigned to a delegation and committee, it's time to get started on your research. The key to being a good delegate is to be well-informed and prepared on the topics you'll debate. The first thing you should do is check out the BIMUN ESADE website to see which topics your committee will be debating. There, you'll also find the research reports carefully crafted by your chairs. These reports will be what you will base your research on. It's important that you read them in detail. They will generally include a short introduction of the topic, a glossary of terms, background information, a list of countries and organizations involved in the situation, a timeline of events, a list of relevant UN treaties and resolutions, as well as previous attempts to solve the issue. Once you've read the research reports and have a general idea of the topic and where it currently stands, you're ready to start your own research. The second step you have to take is to gather information on your delegation. It's vital that you understand the delegation you have chosen, as it will allow you to properly represent them. To do so, we've created a country checklist that you can find in the preparation kit at the link below. To get this information, we recommend you visit websites like the CIA World Factbook or the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development's country profiles. These are good places to get reliable information about the cultural, historical, political, and economic context of your delegation. To find past actions taken by the UN, you can go to the UN's digital library. You should also look for news articles on the topic from outlets such as Reuters, The Economist, and other reliable sources. This will help you fill out the topic checklist. You should also investigate other delegations' opinions on the topic, as it will be useful during the debate. That way, you'll know whose views align with your delegations, and it will be easier to form alliances. The third step is to make a policy statement in order to really understand your delegation's position on the issue at hand. A policy statement is a document that explains your delegation's opinion on the topic and its policies regarding it and how they have evolved over time. A good policy statement should answer the following questions. What is the issue and what role does your delegation play in it? What is your delegation's current position on the issue? What is the background to your delegation's position? What does it hope to achieve in the issue? And which other member states share your delegation's point of view? This will allow you to identify your allies and your main objective. You can use this during the conference to quickly draft up amendments or figure out your country's opinion on a specific issue. Remember, you are representing a delegation, so you should always put your own views and feelings aside when debating. It is vital to remember that a policy statement is not a resolution. The main difference between the two is that the former simply states facts and your country's opinion, whereas the latter will include a list of possible solutions that your delegation is proposing. Once you're done with your research, you are ready to start brainstorming ideas on how to resolve the issue in a way that aligns with your delegation's goals. Take inspiration from past UN resolutions and treaties and actions that your delegation has taken, and create new solutions for the issue. Remember that you should never plagiarize any clauses or parts of a document that you reference. With the ideas that you come up with, you can now write clauses for you to present once you start debating and creating your committee's resolution. A resolution is essentially a long sentence that is written in very formal language. It has two main parts, the preamble and the body. The former is composed of preambulatory clauses which give context and explain the reasoning behind the actions that are proposed in the body of the resolution. The latter is formed by operative clauses which present the actions to be taken to resolve the issue at hand. Since BIMUN ESADE works on a clause-by-clause basis, you do not need to write an entire resolution. Instead, you must come up with operative clauses that clearly state the action your delegation would like the UN and its member states to take. Remember that your proposals should align with your delegation's views and must always start with a verb in the third-person singular of the present tense. Please bear in mind that all subclauses and sub-subclauses must end in a comma, except for the last one at the end of the clause, as it must end in a semicolon. A clause can also have subclauses and even sub-subclauses. in order to include more details and specifications of the action proposed. The ideal number of clauses to bring is 3 or 4. They should be well thought out, clear, and concise. This way, you'll be able to make amendments and present clauses of your own during the conference. You can find an example of a resolution in the preparation kit. We hope this video helped you prepare for the conference and was useful to you. Thank you for watching.